What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Lucas Live News breaking news special. I am your host, Lucas Tindell, here with special guest host, owner, founder, creator of Apex
Communications Network.
Communications. My man Jan is in the building. What's going on, my man?
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me into the studio.
Super excited. Jan, I'm going to tell you, Jan kind of put this idea together. And our special guest today is none other than the owner, founder of United Boxing Club. Jim, I always say the wrong thing. United Boxing Club. A great friend of mine, somebody who I just think the world of, my man Markees Watkins. How you doing, my man?
All right, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to have you gentlemen here. So let's talk real quick. Now that we broke the ice, what's up? If you're watching this live or by replay, stay around for a minute. There's a great event coming up called the Brawl 2. If you're into boxing at all, and I've never gotten to go to Vegas and go see a fight. There's other fights in Cleveland, other places. I never got that chance, and I certainly didn't know of anybody bringing something that big to this area.
Mm-hmm.
But if you heard about the Brawl last year and you got a chance to attend, you have to plan to attend this year. And if you were one of those people like me who planned to go but didn't go, and you're like, oh, I can't believe I missed it, you don't want to miss it. Today's your day to learn everything you need to know to make sure that you are there, that you got your tickets, you got your seats, and you're ready to go. Jan, how did this happen today? I mean, I don't normally jump on at noon doing shows. But, you know, Keith, I mean, we reached out to you. What happened? Talk to us about it.
Well, so my sister, I guess to start, right, me and Keith know each other because when I was in college, I was lost on a whole bunch of different stuff, right? I had gotten done with I would have been a wrestler since I was like 5, 6 years old. So I've always been involved in athletics, always been involved in pushing myself. Got to nursing school, was working multiple jobs, trying to put myself through school, in the military, and like just dealing with a lot, right? And I started to notice like, oh, I don't have this outlet, right? The gym is a great place to go, but I don't have this, like I need some type of combat sport to keep me moving, right?
That's not scary.
And
I need to beat on some people.
so,
okay.
but yeah, there's something different about it, right? You know, like, you get into it,
fair.
and I think also just having a coach and having mentorship at that point in my life is something else that I needed,
Absolutely.
right? And that was one thing when I was looking for a gym to go to. One of the reasons that I was attracted to at the time, it was Canton Boxing Club. And Markees was a trainer there. I think I had to like DM him on Facebook at the time to get a slot, right? There wasn't even really a website or anything like that. It was really just a Facebook page. Yeah, you just had to know.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, you know, I'd love to come here. And he was like, okay, well, here's some of the ground rules. Like, we can't cuss in the gym. You know, God's a part of it, like this type of stuff. And I was like, I'm sold. All right, I'm there.
That's even better.
Yeah, so we trained together for 4 or 5 years, something like that. You know, went on a Golden Glove journey together, and the whole nine, which was a blast.
I didn't know that. So
yeah.
We're going to learn more today.
Got my family involved with training there. So he's also, like I was saying, I'm bumping your mic.
Okay.
Like I said, my sister trains with him now and stuff at United Boxing Club.
Right.
So been involved that entire time. Always have like really felt that he brings a light to the community and an outlet for a lot of people. And so when I found out about the Brawl, I was like, hey, you know, I've been doing this whole podcasting thing. I've got an audience. Sometimes I forget on Facebook, right? And I'm like, oh, I can help get the word out. And then when I realized that y'all knew each other, I was like, perfect. Like all three of us can just get together and get the word out about this event and like what Keith is doing in the community. So
that was a great way to bring us all together. Jan and I met within the last year, but it feels like it's been a lifetime because we just were such similar mindsets, ideas, marketing, podcasting, so many things that we both were just aligned on. I just feel like he's been a lifelong friend. Shout out to Kelly Piero, who connected
for real.
us. And she said you two are going to hit it off, and we did. So shout out to Kelly.
Canton Chamber of Commerce.
Canton Chamber of Commerce. You guys check out the Canton Chamber. She's now over membership, so make sure you reach out to her and sign up.
Yeah, she just got that promo.
She did. Congratulations, Kelly. She was just here in studio the other day. We was talking about some stuff, and then like that same week, she got a promotion. I don't even know if she told me.
Yeah, she definitely deserved that stuff. I met her first through Y Stark, and that was an amazing experience. And also shout out to Y Stark if you're 20. I think it's 20 to 40.
Yep.
Is the age range?
I know
you don't have to be
at 40 because I'm 41. So. But I'm gonna be at some stuff, so y'all better buckle up. I'm gonna just be showing up.
Yeah, you ain't got to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be involved in crazy stuff. Like it's just people that are looking to try to network with other people, trying to make their lives better. That's what I found. Like put on a lot of great events.
Yep. Shout out to them. So Keith,
we
reached out to you. How do you tell them how you know us?
Well, Lucas, I mean, I feel like I've known you my whole life, but I met you freshman in high school.
Probably something like that. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Dang, it goes that far back?
It's been a minute,
bro.
man.
I didn't know
mean,
it went that
It's
far
been
back.
different realms, though, because I'm going to have to explain. He's younger than me, but Keith is a person. So are you. You're both people who are younger than me that I look up to, though. So, but yeah, I met you, that way.
Yeah, you was always over at the carpenter's house.
Yes, that's right.
So yeah, that's what we was kicking at over on Shriver and Maslin.
Yeah. Don't tell him I was in Maslin a lot.
You was in Maslin a lot, man. I didn't realize you was a Bulldog too much later.
I know, a lot of people didn't, but I was.
I was just saying.
Shout out to the Carpenter family. They saved my life. I was going through a lot. They took me to church. They put me in some good surroundings. They looked out for me. So Maslin is the place I was at on the weekends. But go ahead.
Yeah, good people. I was an introverted little brother, so I started basically tagging along with Montel.
Yep.
So that's how we met.
Right. Yep. And then fast forward some years later, I got custody of my 2 middle children, Lucas and Ashanti, which was a huge blessing, but a challenge when, their mother and I had gone through a divorce. They were living with her. And then when you get your kids, which of course you always want your children, and then it ended up working out where they came to live with me. But it wasn't easy. Like, they were going through a lot. They had been through a lot. And as soon as I got them, I was like, I got to get them into something they needed that outlet that you were talking about. I'm like, they need something. They got some frustration, some anger, some stuff. They just need to deal with something. So you were at Canton
Boxing Gym.
Boxing Gym.
Yeah.
And I just seen you posting and stuff, and I reached out to you, and or maybe we had signed up. I think we signed up through maybe the guy who was there. But then I somehow I knew you were there. When my kids connected with you, though, it was like one of the most pivotal relationships for them, because they needed that, like, not my dad telling me something, but like a coach.
Dude, that's the best way to put it. A lot of the advice that Keith gave me, and I know that he's given my sister and stuff like that, same stuff that we've heard from all of our elders in our family for years. And then it's just like coming out of Keith's mouth after you're like dead from a workout. You're like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
And he could have killed me, but he didn't. So he must care about me, right? I was about to pass out. And he told me to get some water. He loves me. So, and he took to my kids and really helped them really grow. So that's always been a thing for me with you, is man to man, to have another man who's not a relative of my children to come into my children's life and to have such an impact and be such a positive role model and a consistent person. He was calm and steady and consistent, and whatever level they were at, my son wasn't that into it. He didn't really care that much. He's just like, my dad made me do it. This ain't necessarily cool. I'm a basketball player. My girls were into it.
Yes.
They came to Brawl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And Shanti wanted all the smoke.
She wanted all the smoke.
Time, man. All the time.
Yes.
But I tell you this, little Lucas was highly skilled once he understood it.
Yeah.
It seemed like he just had a hard time understanding what it is. And once I broke down the ones and twos to him, like all the way down, he started catching it. And then he started kind of looking at it like they did, for a brief amount of time. But, you know, he loved basketball. That's just what it was.
He did. But they respected you and appreciated you. And that meant a lot. So, yeah. So, Jan, maybe a little bit more. When you think about somebody wanting to support or come to the Brawl or thinking about joining United Boxing Club, let's talk to them a little bit. We're marketers.
Right.
Let's talk to them a little bit about why that even matters and what it's about for us.
Well, I think one of the first things, I'll start with the United Boxing Club, and then we can talk about, like, the Brawl as an event. But if you may not see all of the journey if you're like just coming to it now and you're looking up and you're finding United Boxing Club, right? But I can remember, so just like a little bit more about Keith's like intention behind the community and like the amount of work that he's been willing to put in, and to your point, the steadiness of it, right? When I started training at Canton Boxing Club, we had very unreliable heat.
Okay.
Like
basic
I would
things.
show up, I'd show up at
Yeah.
6 o'clock in the morning. It'd be 38 degrees, 42 degrees inside of the gym.
Oh man, I forgot about that.
And we're
Let's
like,
go
hey,
outside.
we're gonna do jumping jacks in our coats, and then once we're warmed up, we'll take that off and we'll start training. But Keith was always in there like messing with the furnace to get it to kick back on, and like doing all of that kind of stuff, like the hardcore entrepreneur stuff that you have to do at the beginning of a journey, to keep things moving, right? And then, Canton Boxing Club grew, and then there's things that happen with Canton Boxing Club. He moves to the new location, and is, you know, constantly renovating that building. That has a ring in it, you know, and then it was, hey, we're going to do this creative fundraiser to raise money to get mats to elevate the experience of the gym. We're going to get the people that are coming involved to be able to do this, you know, and you constantly see every single step of the way. It's been, I want to make this a better place. Not because I want any title or associate with it, right? But it's like,
it wasn't like I want to look good and shine.
Yeah, but it was like I want the community to have a place that they can come that's clean. You know, he's always mopping the mats and stuff like that. I want it to be clean. I want it to be safe. I want people to feel like they can like leave their, you know, issues at the door, and when they check into this place, this is like an hour of clean headspace, right? So that's what I really would advocate for in United. As a club is like, it's not just boxing, right? You don't have to be a boxer to go there, right? You could, it's just a type of training. You know, he's injured almost every part of his body and knows how to rehab it.
So he can help you rehab anything. He'd be like, lay down, let me help you stretch. You'd be like, no, but when you're done, you're like, I needed that. Now you can have a normal day. Right?
Exactly. So if you're not a boxer, like you're listening to this and you're like, hey, like I'm not a boxer. I don't have any intention of sparring or getting into a ring or anything like that. I just need a place that, you know, can help me get exercise without necessarily thinking like, oh, I'm in the middle of a workout. Yeah. It's a great place to do it in community. And the Brawl, I think, is really just like the epitome of like what it's meant to bring together, right? Yeah. This is, I think he said 13 bouts on the card or so 13.
Far. It's going to be 15, but that's what we got matched so far,
Is 13? Okay, so 15 eventually, right? And these are all, I'm assuming, Northeast Ohioans that are all competing, or is it like people that are coming across state lines to compete
There's going to be some across state lines. I wish some of them could have got me their list a little sooner.
Okay. Some of the other clubs, is that how
Yeah. Okay. So basically it all goes on the USA Boxing's website, and it lets you know where the fight is going to be, and then people from all across the nation will submit a list. Sometimes you'll even get some international nods. Like I was just at a show here in Struthers, Ohio, Youngstown, this weekend, and there was 2 guys from London fighting on the card.
Wow. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So sometimes you even get, you know, international people signing up for it. But this one, we do have somebody from Pittsburgh, and I'm trying to match this crew from Detroit on there now.
Do you need somebody else to jump in the ring? Because, you know, I boxed with you about 2 years ago, and I'm sure I could get back in the fighting shape. I was never really ready to fight. Okay, anyway, continue. So y'all, I mean, but the funny part is though, once you learn a little bit about boxing, you're much better prepared to defend yourself.
Yes,
because most people you see on TikTok, on Instagram fighting, are when you learn just even the basics, you're like, what is wrong with them? Who swings like that? Why are their arms out so wide? Why is everybody throwing haymakers?
And it also makes you less critical to the actual professionals you watching on TV.
That's a good point.
You know?
Right.
Oh,
when you've never thrown a punch before, it's like, oh, yeah, you should be throwing this jab. You know how people do, you know.
I feel like it's about if you have never taken one. Yes. You know what I mean? If you've thrown some punches, okay.
Once
but
if
you've taken
a
body shot you didn't see coming, and you're like,
that changes.
It teaches a little respect.
You're a little less critical of the professional. Now you just kind of watch like, oh, that was a good shot.
Yeah.
You're not
that's
saying,
a good point.
That's terrible what he just did. That was good.
Right.
Because you've been on the receiving end of the bad. So, I'm not going to
I see why he didn't just throw that out there.
Yeah, I know why he didn't duck to that side on that punch. I understand. He's seen that uppercut coming on the other side. Needed to reset a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I want to, so with United at this point, right, like obviously I've given some of my perspective on my experience of the mission and stuff like that, but from your words, like what is kind of your goal with the club at this point, and what are some of the different ways, whether it's classes or one-on-ones or other stuff like that people can get involved at the gym?
Well, we have the open gym that starts before our evening classes. The schedule, like Monday, Wednesday, it's from 5 to 7 open gym. Tuesday, Thursdays is 4 to 6. On Monday and Wednesdays, it's followed by the adult intro class for people that, you know, is trying to get into it, see what it's like. But I also don't want to lead people astray and let them think, oh, it's, you know, for beginners. It helps beginners, but there's some people in there that's been doing it for a while, and there's nothing beginner about them.
Right.
They just love the class and the community and camaraderie that comes with it. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, the open gym is followed by the kids class. And after the kids class is the women's boxing cardio class. We felt like it was important for everybody to have their own space within the space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids got their space, women got their space. People ask, why isn't there a men's boxing class? I mean, men is already associated with it. So when you come to adult intro class, that's mainly what you see.
Right.
And every now and then you got a sprinkle of a few females in there that's willing to break past their comfort zone and just be in it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we also have, like you said, private lessons. Do those more in the morning and during the day for the people that either just want to sharpen up. I'm not getting what I need in the classes. I want to sharpen up on this a little bit. Or there's some people that just like working out solo.
Yeah. What is the age range for the kids that you typically see? Like,
we start at age 6.
6? Okay.
I've tried to train them younger than that. They got about 15 minutes in them, and then after that, it's
they punching each other.
Yeah, and they're just not focused. They want to go home. Now they're slapping windows, and you can't do it. Right. Not to mention, they can't compete until the age of 8.
Gotcha.
So if you start them at 6 and they stay consistent, they got 2 years of training under their belt before they jump in the ring. Yeah, so that's a good timeline.
That's good.
How many? Sorry, you have.
I was thinking. I wanted to jump to someone. You had a boxer, a fighter of yours that unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, Travis Charles.
And I know that's somebody
Cobra
who you never want his legacy to be forgotten. So
no.
I just, while we're here in this moment, just if you could share a little bit about him and what you think his impact was on your life, and then how you see his legacy living on beyond him.
We've always had an odd dynamic and odd relationship. Like, I can't even describe what it was. Like, he was my friend. It was like a son. He was like a brother. He was like a nephew. He was a fighter. He was like a lot of different things.
Right.
And he was a guy that kind of had like abandonment issues a little bit. He kind of always felt like people was going to leave him, so he would leave first sometimes. And unfortunately, it caused him to jump gyms. But the good thing is it was just basically jumping from me to another brother, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Going to Coach Buddy. And that actually helped he and I become closer too. But Travis jumping around like that also is how we was able to connect. And me and Buddy known each other for a minute. When I first started, he was one of the ones that made a lot of things in boxing clear to me that didn't make a lot of sense from another perspective. You know what I mean? So, shout out to Charles Hatcher. He's a solid dude, solid coach.
Yeah.
As far as Travis, immense talent. Like, he had speed, he had power, he had length. I mean,
which is annoying as heck to be in the ring with. I've been in the ring with Trav.
You couldn't
sparring partners and stuff, and it's terrible having power and the length of arm.
Because he looked so thin, but he was powerful.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Like his upper body, he looked like he was about 190 pounds, and then you see his legs, and like, okay, he might be 150. He was, built like a small Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
But that was just his boxing skill set. I mean, dude was a pleasure and joy to be around. Yeah. And that whole time, I thought I was helping him. But I realized he was helping me. He was one of the main people that looked at, like, so if I got to a point where I was burnt out and I didn't want to show it, or I needed a break, or people was getting to me, it was usually him like, hey, I'll take over for you. You go ahead and do this. Or, hey, maybe you just need to do this. And then he just go back to being Trav, being the light. So I'm not the most personable person unless you know me. Usually if you see me, I'm
like the pictures we were snapping before we went live.
And I'm not, I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just
nicest dude ever.
Yeah, I'm just always observing something, or looking for the next thing, and hyper focused on certain things. But him, if you walked in the door and he's there, man, you about to get the warmest welcome of your life walking into those doors, and that's something I had to pick up and learn from him.
That's big. I'm glad you were able to share that. I know that's something that impacted you tremendously, and knowing the kind of guy you are, how deeply you care. While you're sitting focused, looking, thinking, a lot of your thought is care and concern for people around you. I played basketball with this guy at the Y for years, and he was thoughtful about a pickup basketball game at the Y at 6:30 in the morning. and he's thinking about how people are doing, how people are feeling, what's going on. Are the teams even? Anybody got a problem? We all good. Right, calm down. Everything will be all right. I mean, it's like he's coach, he's a commissioner, he can ball. I'm like, this dude is like a superhero. The rest of it just
he
show
could throw.
up.
He could throw hands.
He can throw hands if anybody
hands.
acts up. He goes, straighten things out. But it's like, what a genuine person.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate that. And coming from y'all, also genuine people, that means a lot. I mean, it's hard to see yourself.
Yeah,
and,
I understand that.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all do it on both sides. If I'm tripping, you're going to tell me I'm tripping.
Sure.
If I'm doing too much, you're going to tell me I'm doing too much. If I'm not doing enough, you're going to tell me.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Solid dudes, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like it's always been that way. You know, I mean, maybe, well, you know, once you establish that relationship, and to your point, like you get to a place, and this is pretty universal for anybody listening. If you have, I want to double click on like the importance of community in the, you know, sense of building that depth of relationship, right? I'm able to look at you, you're able to look at Keith is looking at us. Like all three of us are in this place right now where we're able to look at each other as genuine people. We know what we're about. We've seen each other in different situations because we've done things like prioritize meetings to hang out, right? Despite both being busy. We've done things like show up to 6:30 a.m.
He texted me,
pick up games, you know, and experience that piece.
Right.
And so if you're, you know, listening to this and you're like, oh man, like I don't really know if I have like that group of people. I don't have that place. There's been times in my life where I haven't felt like I've had that crew, you know? And so if you're listening, you know, maybe it is going to your local Y and seeing if they have open basketball, you know, and like registering for a team and like trying that out again. You know, maybe it is going to United Boxing Gym. Or boxing club. Yeah. Man, you got me saying that. United Boxing Club, right? And registering for an intro class, right? And just taking it a couple of times and not giving up after the first one. That's the caveat that I'll say. If you're going to do it, commit to like going to at least 3. You know what I mean? Don't just go to one and be like, nah, that wasn't for me. Go to the second one and then see like how people react when you come back into that room the second time and they're like, oh, you're back again. You know? And those are places where you can really build those deep relationships and stuff. So if you're feeling a little bit isolated or something, go, you know, these are some quick Google searches that you can look around. And I'm a big advocate for fitness being the place to do that. Fitco Gym, another place that has great trainers, you know, a great community, great people running their social, you know.
Good stuff going on. Right. Absolutely. I love that. And the boxing club, one thing about Keith as a coach is while he will show dead bodies, his goal is not to kill you. Like,
also, I feel like we need to clarify what that is because if people haven't seen the reels, they're like dead bodies.
There's dead bodies. What do you mean? I mean, there's nothing to clarify.
Yeah, how did that start? How did that meme, you know, that's so popular now start?
So it actually started as we called it can of corn.
Okay.
So if you remember Fat Tony from The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
When he was laid out and said, give me a can of corn. Can of corn, I'll be fine. Give me a can of corn. So if somebody was laid out, we put them up there for that. So fast forward, we got past 2020. Can of corn kind of phased out. And somebody was like super laid out in the gym.
Right.
And somebody walked past and said, y'all want to see a dead body? And after that, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm running with that.
Yeah. Post the clip.
Yep.
Right.
That's funny. All right, so listen, I want to shout out my team here as well while we're talking about good teams and good people. Shout out to Tiffany Williams, our production manager here. We kind of threw this together. Jan threw out the idea. Literally, Jan's question was, what do you know about Markees Watkins? I think was his text message.
Yeah, that was the OG text. That was
where it all started. It was about 2 weeks ago. And I said, Markees is one of the most genuine people I've ever met. He's like a brother to me. He's an uncle to my children. If I ever have another child, he's the godfather.
He ain't lying. It was a paragraph.
It was
came back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you've never known him or anything, but I'm like, whether you want to train with him, whether you just somebody says something, whatever. I just wanted to be clear. Like, as far as I go, like, this is my thought. I don't care what nobody say. Not that I ever heard anybody say anything about it, but it was like that. And then you were like, well, I wanted to support the Brawl. You know, I know him as well. And then we were like, let's jump into a show. You're like, hey, could we use your studio? I'm like, of course. And it's funny because I said this earlier. Somebody just saying, hey, can I use your studio? The answer is usually no. Like, that is not a thing. Like, I have people who use my studio. I have people who are signed to Lucas Media. I have people who are paying to do branded podcasts who I've, we've worked it out and decided that it all aligns and fits and makes sense. But number one in support of Keys, I'm like, whatever. You could be like, can I borrow your cameras and take your soundboard? I'd be like, yeah, whatever you got to do, just bring it back by tomorrow. Then knowing you, Jan, I'm like, you're just such a straight up dude. Like, and then as soon as I said yes, Jan starts putting together the structure. He's sending us text messages like, we're going to walk in the door at 11:01. At 11:03, we're going to shake hands. Then we're going to get it all broken down. We're going to take pictures before, right about this time, and had it all planned out. So all that was coming together. Tiff's like, whatever. Whenever I'm like, Tiff, I got something, I need something. She's like, if I can be there, I got you. I'm there. She jumped in. She's here running the show. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Lucas Live Media. Yep. I know a lot of you have not seen us live at noon. You probably are like, I didn't know, or what is this? This is breaking news. It's a special. If you weren't able to watch live, check out the replay. To all our replay viewers, thank you. We'll put clips out. We'll put other information out here. But I just want to thank everybody for bringing this together. And Tiff's going to check us on our time. She's going to let us know about how much longer we have. Because, we could talk all day. I'm looking. She's like, okay, what time we said we're going to wrap up? 12:30, 12:45. Jan, you're the man behind it.
Yeah, I think we're good. We got all the photos beforehand. So anytime before 12:45. Because I think we all said that we have 1:30s.
Yeah,
is the goal?
Let's go 12:35 if that works for you guys.
I'm good, yeah.
So we got a few more minutes here.
Look at that. That's how a barter happens,
Right there live. Y'all guys see that? This is how business gets done. Let's go 12:35. All right.
Sold.
Right. Said that. Perfect. So Keys, as you think about the Brawl, it's not where it was last year. It's in a bigger. To me, it's. I mean, talk about something at the Civic Center.
I'm excited about that. That's like I think that the Civic Center is one of the most underutilized facilities in the city.
Yep.
So as soon as I saw, that's another reason why I thought it would be great for all three of us to get together and leverage our audiences to promote this, because I am so hype that it's going to be happening in the Civic Center.
I agree. Talk to us about it.
So before I talk about the Brawl 2 at the Civic Center, I feel compelled to say something that I'm pretty sure I never said to Jan before. So when Jan came on is when I really first started taking training seriously. And he actually was as far as my career, my defining student.
Wow.
Yeah. So I just started taking it serious. I mean, whatever emotion you can go through as a fighter coach, we did that.
Yeah,
and
for real.
He's one of the most driven people you will ever meet. He's also probably the most hard on himself as somebody you'll ever meet. I mean, failure is not an option. Right. Talking about a dude that was a sergeant at 18 or 20?
19, yeah. 19 years old. I got promoted to staff sergeant, yeah.
Yeah, you're valedictorian?
I got an award from Walsh called the Tower. So it was like I gave the commencement address when I graduated, but it was called the Tower Award. It was like the valedictorian, but for leadership, basically. Because I definitely did not have the grades.
It was the leadership. That's what matters more.
But it's because I was focused on other stuff. Yeah, I had a 3.4 because I was in clubs and I was, traveling and working, trying to put myself through school.
Yep. All of that. When he said he was getting this truck, he got that truck, and it had to be this particular way. Everything was dialed up, and I had to really challenge myself to get him there, because, I mean, the man was bringing in other students because he loved it so much. He's bringing other guys from Walsh over like, hey, come train with this guy. Come do this. And he's sparring, and there's people that he's bringing in that just started a week ago, and they spar, and they're whooping him. And I'm like, what the heck? This dude, like, hey, there has to be success here. So I put myself to the side. I prayed about it, like, Lord, give me what I need to get through to him, because I'm tired of seeing him lose. He deserves to win. One day he's shadow boxing and he's looking like a deer, and it hit. Say, switch to southpaw. The what? Switch to southpaw.
Wow.
So everything
right-handed
was
southpaw
backwards, but it fit because he was a wrestler his whole life, like you said earlier. So all of his weight was always on his front foot instead of his back foot. There was no balance for him, and he started killing it.
Wow.
So I started calling all those dudes that was whooping him.
Like, y'all better get back in.
Come
Let's
back.
see what's up.
Yeah.
And they're coming in with like, oh yeah, I'm about to just whoop Jan again. It didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
No, started traveling to other people's gyms. Went and trained with Lorenzo out in Alliance.
Yep.
Wow.
Shout out Lorenzo Scott.
Yep. And then this man became a Golden Gloves champion.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, he was my defining student.
I love that. That's a big deal. And to somebody else out there, whatever age you are, I think that's one of the things we're talking about. Your skill level, whatever it is, like give it a try. I went just for the workout of it, but I learned some things. I got better. It builds your confidence because you really, every man out there think, oh, somebody come, I can defend my stuff. You don't know till you get in the ring with Markees, and Markees wasn't even throwing punches. He was just moving on me. 2 minutes in the ring.
Yeah, it's more frustrating when you can't hit him.
Oh, I was like,
than when he throws punches and he makes it look so easy. He's just like, swoop.
He was just moving, and then he just had to show me the. Then he's like, well, that's why we're working on this, because when you get to the real moment, you got to be ready. And so that was a big deal. So let's wrap this up with the Brawl 2 coming to Canton, Ohio.
Yep. So
real soon.
Last year, as a lot of people know, we were at the Hall of Fame Village. Mm-hmm. This year felt like it'd be a lot more iconic to be at the Civic Center. I mean, there's been pro fights there before. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, Marion Connor and Ronnie Harris fought each other there in an exhibition. So why wouldn't we want to be in there in that same area where those two legends did their thing, and all kind of other people did their thing? I mean, they used to have Friday night fights there and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there hasn't been boxing there in over 20 years.
Wow.
So that looked like an opportunity. Yeah. So, and the Civic Center has been more than helpful with all of this. They're down with the community. It hasn't been difficult at all.
That's awesome.
And did I see is there the potential for guests, like special guests that are going to be showing up?
You never know. You never know. Boxing is one of those weird dynamics where if you hit up a former champ and like, hey man, can you come to the hall? They're going to be reluctant because usually when a fighter is done and they're done.
Right.
They've closed that.
Out of the spotlight.
Yeah. They're out of that. They moved on to the next chapter of their life. So like last year, Buster Douglas was supposed to come. What happened was people got the word of it, started treating him like a celebrity. He's done with that.
Right.
He has his own
want any
gym.
part of it.
He trains kids.
Right.
So it would have been a lot easier to just book his kids on the show, and he's going to be there. Yeah. But then again, when he's there, he wants to focus on his fighters. He's not trying to do an interview. He's not trying to
right.
Yeah, it's not what he's trying to do. So
I've always admired that, like that humility aspect of some boxers. That, they exit and they're just like, hey, that was a part of my life. I was a great part of my life, but that's not my whole life. It's not my definer. Yeah.
So it was good that the family of Marion Connor came last year. Ronnie Harris came. We honored him. This year we're actually honoring Lorenzo Scott.
That's awesome. He deserves that 100%.
So yeah, a lot of people don't know him because he just operates behind the shadows. But if there's anybody in this area at all that's done anything in combat sports, not just boxing, combat sports
in general,
they know who he is. He's a 5-time Hall of Famer.
Dude can tell that you're hitting the bag wrong from the other side of the gym without looking at you.
Yeah.
Wow. He'd be like, get off your front foot.
Wow.
From across the gym. And you're like, man, who's he talking to? And then you're like, oh, he's talking to me.
Yeah. Right. So, seeing this older guy doing the speed bag with his feet was better than people were doing with their hands. Yeah, like he's got, like I said, he's a Hall of Famer in 5 different disciplines. Wow. Yeah, it's like when Stipe won his world championship, if you look at his picture holding up the belt, you'll see Lorenzo behind it.
Right. Like people don't know it. He's right here.
And he's just back there in the shadows. He just happened to get captured in that moment. The one fighter, Vonda Ward, a lot of people have heard of her. That was her coach. Wow. So
and he's right here in Canton.
Alliance.
Oh, he's in Alliance. Right here in Stark County.
So that gym that used to be downtown that everybody knows about, you drive up Cherry and you see boxing on the pillars, that was him. That was Scott's Boxing. That was him.
Wow. This to
this
anybody
awesome.
out there,
it's been great.
Yeah, gentlemen, I appreciate you guys coming to Lucas Live Studio 1. We're gonna do this some more, do some more interesting things. We'll definitely be at the Brawl. We're gonna continue to promote it. Anybody out there who's thinking about it, can they get tickets? Or tickets on sale now? Or when will
tickets went live December 4th.
Okay.
They're through Ticketmaster, or you can go down and get them at the box office. if you want to save yourself money, just go down to the Civic Center, get it from the box office.
Because Ticketmaster got fees.
Yeah, they got the convenience fee, and they should.
Yeah, it's
convenient. You know,
convenient.
they set
That's
that
their
whole
business.
thing up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but yeah, so definitely do that. They're very affordable. Let's try to fill this thing up and show a lot of these kids that's in it that we're behind them.
I love that.
Yep.
And that there's more than just your core sports, your football, your basketball, baseball, stuff like that. We have boxing here too, MMA and other sports that we can all show up and support each other for.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, and it's I think the date's up there on the screen, but March, right?
March 9th.
March 9th.
The doors open at 5, bout start at 6, and it's like I said, it's going to be nice. Last year we didn't have any females on the card. This year we do.
Okay. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for checking us out here today. Keith, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much.
y'all.
And Jan for dreaming this little thing up here real quick and then putting it together and making it happen. It's a pleasure. Jan is also a podcast host. He's been podcasting longer than me, I think. I mean, he's
since
been
2017,
so
2018.
So he's been in it years longer than me, has learned the art of it, the skill of it, and has always been open and willing to share anything he knows. I'm like, Jan, well, I don't know about that. He's like, let me send you some files. Let me send you all my stuff. Like, this is your secret sauce. He's like, here comes the secret sauce. Check your email. Right? So shout out to Jan. Shout out to Keith. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks for having us.
All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Everybody have a great day.